So if you're planning on breeding ball pythons, your collection keeps getting bigger and bigger, you're going to want to start to think about breeding rats. What's up YouTube, it's Baker. Welcome back to Blue Line Morphs. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, check me out on Instagram, blue_line_morphs, and Facebook, Blue Line Morphs. Now that that's out of the way. For everybody returning back, welcome back guys. I know we had a little bit of a break from the snake videos on Friday, yesterday, with a little 9/11 tribute just to give my experience when I was a kid and when I remember about it. I think it's important. Like we all vowed never to forget, so I thought it was important to do that sort of video. A lot of you guys loved it. I enjoyed making it to relive some of those moments. But anyway, back to the snakes, back to rats too. Tomorrow I'm going to be feeding. I might go live on Instagram or YouTube and just do a live. I might set my computer up over here and do the feeding live and talk to you guys. If you're interested in that, comment down below now for Sunday afternoon, give or take. Or maybe I'll just go live on Instagram. I don't really know. We'll figure it out. Either way, guys. So, just the introduction says, if your collection is going to keep getting bigger and bigger, for me, I'm well over 30 now, you're going to want to start to think about breeding rats. Now, I'm really fortunate where I have a pet store that's local. It's more than just a local pet store. It's a big, it's a big pet store. I mean, it is what it is. All right, but they have feeders, live feeders on hand as well as frozen, so I'm able to pick up twice a week from them. It does get costly, okay? Even if you do pick up, so for me, when I pick up a small rat, which is about that big, it's going to cost me about $4. Okay, they sell them for about $4.75. They definitely take care of me over there. I'm going to actually look to see if I can do like a brief interview with the owner because I know she breeds ball pythons or did, and we'll get into that later on. But also, you can also order online. Also, you can order online, right, from some of these Rodent Pro places like that, which I'm probably going to do that just to do a quick video on it and see what it's like getting the rats from them. Even that is costly, especially if you start getting in, again, 20, 30, 40 snakes. If it's $4 a week per snake, $120, $150 a week, $600 a month, and then that's only having a small collection, only 20 to 40 snakes. Some people, you might have 100 snakes. You plan on going big. You're going to want to start talking about breeding rats. So that was my goal. Now, at this pet store I just spoke about, I'm fortunate enough to have African soft fur rats on hand, the ASFs. So I've read a bunch about them, about how they're more like hamsters and they don't smell as badly as rats, and certainly not as bad as mice. Mice smell terribly. So I was going to give a shot at breeding them. So this video is going to be all about my first shot at breeding them, my second shot at breeding them, what have I experienced so far, what I'm changing, just to kickstart this sort of segment on my channel when it comes to breeding rats, because I am going to take it to the next level next year, next spring. If you guys saw that interview I had with Sal over there at Gomez Pythons, he's got his rat shack in the backyard. He's got a big, nice shed with a big operation going. He has fairly the same amount of snakes that I have, maybe about 10 more, and he's able to feed his entire colony on his own with a little bit left over, and that's exactly what I want to do. Just because I don't want to spend the money, and also I want to have the rats on hand to where if I work late, wherever the case may be, it's nice to be able to go in to the rat shack, grab what I need, feed, and keep it moving. All right. So the first thing I did was I went to this place, Country Critters, and I asked for 4 females and 1 male African sulfur rat. I put them in a 10-gallon tank. I had substrate down there. I had some things like to keep them busy. I had a water bowl in there, and along with food, I was using. I threw it out, but the Missouri stuff, right, guys? That's what I was using. This stuff right here. Now, some of my snakes don't eat regular rats, and they choose to eat ASFs. It's probably my fault for offering it to them. So I went to Country Critters a couple weeks later, and I purchased a few African sulfur rats to feed off, and I had one left over. It happened to be a female, so I figured, listen, if I'm buying... All right, so full disclaimer. When it comes to African sulfur rats, they live in colonies, and they don't accept anybody else because they're going to eat them. I'll tell you why. So I'm not going to tell you why. I'll tell you my experience. So I had the leftover ASF. I took her, I put it with the other ones, thinking I purchased them all from the same pet store, so they got them from the same source, and it turns out I may have been wrong. So as the week went on, I found one dead one. It was just dead, an ASF. They were about this big. I was raising them up to get ready to breed. Found it dead. Didn't think anything about it because things happen, rats die, it is what it is. 2 or 3 days later, found another one dead. Okay, might have a little issue here. Still not going to panic. No big deal. A couple days later, I found one with its guts eaten up, and it was all eaten up. And I was like, all right, maybe one died. They decided to eat them. No big deal. A couple days went by, found another one. Its whole head was eaten off, its face was eaten off, and it looked like it was gutted out. A couple days goes by, same thing happens, the last one is killed off. So essentially what happened my first go around with breeding these ASFs, so be cognizant of that. This female I introduced obviously wasn't part of the same bloodline, and it ate and killed my other ones. Okay, eventually I fed that off to my Killer Blade Edgy Clown Girl, but just be cognizant of that. If you get into breeding them, if they're not from the same bloodline, they're going to eat each other. They're going to kill it. Not good. So that was in a 10-gallon tank. Eventually, I picked up, from my friend Claire over at Medusa's Lair, I picked up these things. These are the old school rodent breeding like tubs, okay? I have 3 of these. I went back to Country Critters, and I picked up another 5 females and 1 male. I put them in there, and it was working really well. Okay, 6 weeks. It took about 6 weeks though. Now I picked them up. They were pretty. I would pick them up and show you, but they're nasty, and I'll get into that in a second. I don't know why. They're just jerks. I'll show you some of the babies that I produced though. But it took about 6 weeks. They were up to size, and they looked like they were to be sexually mature. Oh, I'm about to fall off, guys. They looked to be sexually mature. It took about 6 weeks for them finally to start breeding. So again, be cognizant of that. If you get into ASFs, that it takes a little time to get them to start breeding. They took a little while, but once they start going, they really go. But I have had my issues with that so far. So once they did have the first litter, it was great. They were taking care of the first litter. Everything was going really well. They were feeding them. They seemed to be growing. They became fuzzies. They got big. They started wandering around. I was like, great, this is awesome. About a week and a half goes by. Another litter pops up. I see pinkies. They're raising them up fine. Everything's doing really well. Like, cool, awesome. Just be aware. Just watch. Make sure they're fed. We're good, right? A third litter pops up. All right, cool. I got 3 litters now. I got like 30 babies in there. At this point, the first litter is just about old enough to get weaned off. So I take them out, and I actually put them right in here by themselves. And this other one... Now, as time went on, about a week went by, and I started to notice 1 or 2 of the second litter and the third litter, they were dead. Now, again, I didn't think too much of it. Things happen. But as the week progressed, they started killing their babies. So the second and third litter is all gone now because the parents ate them and killed them. So having spoken to a lot of different people, sometimes this food isn't enough. They need a high protein diet. However, if there's not enough fat in their diet, you're going to have problems. So people sometimes supplement that with dog food. I feed my dog Shelby, Taste of the Wild, which is a really high protein, high fat diet. So I've been putting the dog food in with their food to see if that'll help. It seems they loved it. They were chowing down. The one female looking down now looks to be pregnant. So I'm going to see if that changes. You can also put, I've heard fruits in there. I've heard different seeds, stuff like that, different nuts in there to try to balance that diet off. But what I have seen with the African soft fur rats is they're super temperamental. First and foremost, they're absolute jerks. Again, some people say that you can breed that out of them. They have some individuals that are assholes. Some aren't. It is what it is. But I know this. When I go near the tub or put anything on top of the tub, they bite it and attack it right away. I'm trying to handle and mess around. I'm going to take one out right now. This is from my first litter. Come here, bud. This is from my... Come on. Come here. This is from my... Really, buddy? Relax. This is from my first litter right here. They're getting decent size. I have fed off 2 of them to the Aussie boy you saw. But I'm trying to... This is a boy. I'm trying to raise them up to have a second colony. But this is how big the first litter is. And this is about, I would say, 6 weeks ago these guys were born. Okay, so that's how big they got in about 6 weeks' time. They're by themselves. They're not so bad. I can handle them. They don't bite. The first group, real nasty, real temperamental, real jerks. That's where I stand right now with breeding rats. Okay, I had my issues. They ate each other. I have also heard that first-time parents sometimes will eat their offspring. I guess they got to get it out of their system. But if this doesn't keep working, and I don't get consistent litters from them, I'm going to switch over to this guy right here. This is a male. Now, I have a rule here at Blue Line Wars. If you make it through the gauntlet 3 times as a rat, I let you go. So this guy, as a pup, from Claire, Medusa's Lair. Made it through the gauntlet 3 times. I eventually started raising him up to breed him. He's sweet as can. Look at this. It's like a pet. He's sweet as can be. He's going to be my breeder for Norwegian rats, okay? So that is the plan right now, guys. So if you comment down below if you want me to start including my rat plans on this channel. But that has been my experience so far with the ASFs. I will say this. My Aussie boy has eaten 2 of the pups from ASFs that I've actually produced. Get out of here. That I've actually produced. And it was a good feeling. It was easy because I came home from work. It was late. Obviously, I want to get him up to size this year. I took a rat pup out. I threw him in there. It was good to go. So that is my plan. I want to get that going for all my snakes. But I have had my hiccups. So that's the update with my ASFs. That's where I stand right now with them. If I keep having issues or they keep being jerks, they're going to get fed off. And I'm going to switch over to these guys. So do me a favor. If you made it to the end of the video, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Should I stick with the ASFs? Should I switch over to the Norwegian rats? What do you guys think? These guys are obviously much... I feel bad because these guys are like little tame dogs. Look at him. He's like my buddy. It's insane. He's never going anywhere unless he bites me. No, that's not true. But comment down below. What do you guys think? Should I stick with the ASFs? Should I move over to these guys? Let me know. But I'm going to start including these videos about my rat facility, my rat breeding projects, so you guys can get kind of a first-hand experience on what it's like to start colonies and so forth and so on. So that's it, guys. That's the update in the ASF colonies. I've had my issues. They ate each other one time. Then they... What are you doing, buddy? They ate each other one time. Then they ate their babies. But all the babies survived. So I'm definitely getting another colony going with these guys. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the diet helps. Definitely stay tuned for that. I'll do like a weekly update on my rats. But we'll see. We'll see if they seem to like the dog food. We'll see what happens. As always, guys, be safe. Please remember, watch your six. Whoa!